Hey there, everyone. It's another edition of the world-famous Weather for Weather Geeks. A new work week and a chilly pattern for eastern Ohio and western PA. It's been a stark change compared to the start of November, which was actually pretty mild. I'll show you some numbers in just a second, but first, I wanted to bring this to your attention. You know, oftentimes we think about these spotter training classes, these Skywarn classes put on by the National Weather Service as kind of a springtime thing, but they're actually doing some fall sessions this year, and the Cleveland National Weather Service their final fall session is actually here in our area. This will be coming up on Wednesday evening. Boardman United Methodist Church, 6809 Market Street. That is at 6 p.m. So if you want to get certified as a storm spotter through the Skywarn program that the National Weather Service has, check that out. Wednesday evening, Boardman United Methodist Church. The complete schedule, if you just Google Cleveland National Weather Service, you'll find it on their page. So the Cleveland Weather Service will be in town coming up in a couple of days, putting on one of their great seminars, and they'll have more of these as we head into the spring, of course, and into what is traditionally severe weather season. All right, I mentioned the numbers so far this month. Warm compared to average, and then a pattern flip last week, and it's been cool ever since. 33 was our high on Saturday, and we only did 41 over the last couple of days. And notice now we're running a deficit temperature-wise for the month, and I'm expecting to reel off probably another 6 or 7 cooler than average days in a row before some milder air arrives in time for Turkey Day. In the meantime, things are pretty quiet as of 7 to 6 this evening. It was kind of a gloomy afternoon, a lot of clouds, but a lot of dry air in the lower levels of the atmosphere prevented anything from reaching the ground, even though there's been some light green echoes on the radar occasionally. Not much more than a sprinkle this evening. Expecting a little bit of light rain to finally start reaching the ground later on this evening. Heading into the overnight tonight, and the air mass will cool. So while this will be a little light rain at first, notice what happens as we head well past midnight. Some white starts to show up. There could be some light snow showers. This is turning out to be kind of a non-event. This looked like more of an impactful situation a few days ago when I last worked on Friday, but over the weekend and certainly over the last 12 hours or so, the modeling has definitely trended very, very pessimistically if you're a snow lover, down well under an inch. A coating on the grass should about do it, I think, late tonight and tomorrow morning. So we're not looking for many travel impacts at all. For your Tuesday morning commute, the visibility can be reduced if we get into some decent snow showers, but again, it's going to have a hard time sticking on the roads, on your windshield and on the grass. Some localized coatings should just about do it. Generally speaking, no big deal. So good news if you're a Tuesday morning commuter, bad news if you're a student or teacher, and we're hoping for some sort of delay or adjustment on Tuesday. Not going to happen this time. Sorry, guys. All right, as we go into tomorrow afternoon, it'll be a blustery afternoon, a lot of clouds, maybe a flurry, a snow shower in spots. Not looking for any additional accumulation here locally up in the snow belt. From Ashtabula County on east over towards Erie and especially into southwest New York, there could be a couple or a few inches. In southwest New York, even a handful of inches worth of snow later on tomorrow into tomorrow night. After a cold and quiet Wednesday, the next system gathering off to our south early in the day Thursday. I think by midday and into the afternoon, we'll see precipitation pushing in. This is kind of a tricky precipitation type forecast Thursday afternoon. This might come in as kind of a mixed bag of snow and sleet and rain, everything in between, eventually transitioning probably over to a cold rain for a time, and then maybe switching back to some light snow for Thursday night, Friday morning. Not looking for big impacts from that one either. All right, it's a chilly pattern. I'm going to stop here on Sunday, the end of the upcoming weekend. That's a cold-looking weather map with a northwesterly flow like this. If you trace these lines all the way up into northern Canada, all the way up into the Arctic Circle, that's the origins of our air mass as we wrap up the weekend. And then as we head into next week, the pattern will start to change some. Notice as we get into the middle of the week and closer to Thanksgiving, notice when you trace the lines over our region, they trace back this way. This is a milder air mass. Delayed but not denied. We thought it might turn milder early in the work week, but it looks like it's going to take until the second half of next week and around the holiday before the milder air starts to push in. Now, this does not mean it's going to be in the 70s on Thanksgiving. It just means that it won't be in the 30s and lower 40s. If I had to take a stab at a high temperature on Thanksgiving right now, I would say somewhere between 47 and 53, something like that. So the 6 to 10 day outlook still looks pretty cold, right? That's the 6 to 10 day period would be from like Saturday through Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. But then the pattern, again, is going to start to warm up. So the 8 to 14 day outlook, a lot more red and orange on this map across the lower 48 states. So if you are longing for a little bit of a milder temperature regime, Looks like you got to wait about 10 days, but I do think it will get here, and it may stick for a while, although there are some concerns about December. Low confidence forecast about December right now. If you remember from my winter forecast last week, I called for about an average December with some ups and downs, and I still think that's probably the right idea. There are some signals that it could end up being a warmer than average December, but there's some increasing concern for a blocky pattern in the northern Atlantic, which will help keep colder air masses locked in across the eastern U.S. So there's some uncertainty there. So it's only November the 12th, so we've got lots of time to figure December out. Thanks for watching tonight's Weather for Weather Geeks. I'll see you back here tomorrow evening.